Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mark from Northwest Bourbon. Hope you're having a good time tonight. So as you guys know, we were supposed to have Woodinville on stream with us, and we do. What's up, Brett?
What's happening, Mark? Thanks for having
Not
me.
much. Just setting the mood, man. We're just gonna hang out and talk whiskey and have a good time together. You guys, this is Brett. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, man. First, thank you for being here. Appreciate you coming on the show and hanging out. And the floor is yours.
Thanks for inviting me so many times. And I finally, with two young kids, it makes it a challenge to do it at this time of night. I'm usually in bed by the time I get the kids down. But
yeah,
no, I'm really excited to be here and talk whiskey. That's one of my favorite things to talk about. For those who don't know much about Woodinville, myself and my best friend from college started Woodinville back in 2010. Orland Sorensen, my business partner, and it was basically the American dream we were chasing. We grew up in the area. Grew up in Bothell, actually, pretty close to Woodinville, so we were pretty familiar with what was going on in the craft beer scene. Around Woodinville, and all the wineries that were just popping up in our backyard. We kind of took notice of that. And Orland and I always were big bourbon drinkers, and kind of our thing on Friday nights after college, we'd play poker with buddies, and we would always try to bring a new bottle no one had tried, and that was kind of our thing. And we would always share with the group and talk about it. And we just kind of developed a real passion for American whiskey, and specifically bourbon. So that was our thing. We were doing different career paths. Orland was an airline pilot for Alaska Airlines. I was actually in sales for a very large construction company, but it was one of those things I just wasn't fulfilled. And we got to talking one night about distilling, and why not in Washington, and why couldn't we start something in Washington? Granted, we knew nothing about making whiskey. We sure knew how to drink it, but but it just kind of started the conversation. And the law changed, I believe, in the end of 2008 or 2009 when we started having our discussions. It was craft distilling law that basically, prior to that, you could always distill in Washington State, but we were a control state at the time, and there was no way to allow people to try your products or gain a fan base without this law that passed. So basically, when the law passed, it allowed you to sample your products at your distillery. And so at that point, the light bulb kind of went off for both of us. Like, well, that actually could work. If you could get people in the door to tell your story and your journey that you're on, and try your products, that you could make a business out of that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of that kind of was the catalyst for us starting this crazy venture. Obviously, they say ignorance is bliss, and knowing what we know now, all the pitfalls and working with distributors and all the things we didn't think about or know about. Looking back, if we had known about all that, we probably wouldn't have done this. But you're too dumb to know, and so you jumped in with both feet, and then you realize pretty quickly that, well, we got to make this work, because we mortgaged our houses and cashed in our 401ks, and we kind of pushed all of our chips right in the middle. And
found out the road was narrow and full of obstacles.
Yeah, but we both love a good challenge, and we overcame a lot of obstacles and challenges along the way to get where we're at today. So a lot has changed since 2010 when we started distilling, but I can go as deep as you want to go. I can take questions all night.
That's what I like to hear. Well, first, are you drinking on anything already? Because I'm not. I need to be, though.
All right, you better hurry up. So actually, I just poured myself. This is our flagship bourbon whiskey. We pretty much make two products at Woodinville, and we have pretty much since day one. We've really focused on our bourbon whiskey, and we make a 100% rye whiskey as well. And I'll get more into our different special releases and things like that along this journey we're on tonight. But you know, in the beginning, we kind of had some guiding principles that we kind of set in stone that we wanted to follow, and you know, one of those was stick to a couple products and make them very, very well. Don't try to make a gin or
yes.
We didn't want to do. Personally, we weren't gin drinkers, so to make a gin, our heart wasn't in it. Now,
right, and that kind of answers one of my questions, because there's a lot of distilleries, not just here in the Pacific Northwest, but in general, when they're starting up, they either start by selling the clear spirits, selling vodka, selling gin, just to keep the doors open and the mortgage paid while the whiskey is aging. The other option is to source and sell somebody else's whiskey with your label on it until you can sell your own.
Correct. So that brings me to this statement. We saw that going on when we started planning this distillery. We saw some distillers around there calling themselves craft, but doing a little digging, you found out they didn't make a drop. They bought it all from MGP in Indiana.
Right.
And to us, that was deceitful to the consumer, telling them that you actually made it when you didn't. And for us, that was from day one. Everything that is put in a bottle in Woodinville was made from scratch in our distillery. So, and that's still true to this day. In the beginning, we did make a vodka in the beginning.
Yes.
And we also marketed a clear whiskey. I mean, if you think back to 2010, there was a lot of clear whiskeys popping up and a lot of interest from the consumer because they'd never seen a clear whiskey. And so we actually got pretty lucky and we were able to ride that small little wave of White Dog whiskey in a bottle. And it helped us really keep buying more grain, more barrels, and keep putting more whiskey in barrel to lay up for aging purposes. So, you know, we had to do a lot of things in the beginning and just to keep the lights on and keep the barrels coming in the back door and the grain coming in and keep producing whiskey.
Absolutely. Well, let's raise a glass to you and all the people here watching us live.
Cheers. Thanks for watching.
Cheers, everybody. All right. On the right side of your screen, you see where there's a chat box. You might still be on the private one. If you go to the comments, you'll see we already got people jumping in and saying hi.
Perfect. There it is. Yeah.
TroyMan's in the house. Mayfield's in the house. Michelle, what's up? Wanderberg. Lee's here. Good to see you. Tracy, what's up? What are we all sipping tonight? We're drinking Woodinville, man. It's usually a dry day, but I'm cheating. I'm sipping Knob Creek single barrel. That's a great choice. And Tracy, you can make up your dry day tomorrow. But tonight we're hanging out. Mark and Brett, cheers. It's Simone Barkeep. What's up, buddy? Good dude. Good dude. William Reynolds is in the house. Good to see you, William. Thanks for being here. Whiskey Wine 101. This is Marvin. You've met Marvin a few times. I know that.
I've met Marvin.
Jake's in the house. Cheech. Cheers, buddy. Big Vic. So Brett, have you done a live interview before?
Never a live interview. No, I've done some podcasts in the past, but never a live. So this is my first. You guys, nice. You're popping my cherry, Mark.
No, that's awesome. It's gonna be a blast. Ben Demon Hunter, this is our brother from the north up in Canada. What's up, buddy? I love the Woodinville Vodka. Yeah, the first time I came to see you, Brett, was a year and a half ago, and I walked around with Desiree.
Yep.
And she had us try your vodka, and I bought 2 bottles of it. And I was like, I don't remember the last time I bought vodka or I appreciated a vodka when it was straight, but I liked yours. And that's
we had a definite cult following for that stuff. You know,
it did not taste like normal vodka.
No, being a whiskey drinker, we needed to develop a vodka that a whiskey drinker could appreciate and drink neat.
Right.
It has like the vodka. I don't want to get off track, but the vodka had like hints of butterscotch or vanilla.
Yes.
It's because of what we use as our grain. We used a soft white winter wheat, and literally when you were mashing that grain, it smelled like vanilla and butterscotch throughout the distillery, and that just translated through the distillation process.
That's
So
crazy. So Ben, you were cleaning carcasses. That's good. Wash your hands before you drink whiskey, buddy. Jake, giving out hugs left and right. America, that's right, Troy. Ben, totally so excited for this one. Yes, we are too. Who's Marl? Sorry, Mark. No, you're good, Ben. You know I know who you are, and I know that you know that I know that you know me. Butterscotch. Absolutely. Goodness. All right, so
what do you guys want to hear about? What do you want to talk about? What rabbit hole do we want to crawl down?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
It's called the Revolving Door of Questions. I just dropped the link in the chat, and I'm going to post it up. And so since this is live, wanted to interact the audience more. And so I'll drop the link so they can join us on screen. They get to ask you a question, and at the end of that conversation, I kick them out, hence the revolving door. That way we keep the conversation focused on you. Or else next thing I know, they're going to be telling you about where they work and stuff like that. No. Troy's in the house.
What up?
And Troy, hold what you got, because I almost forgot. If you come on screen and ask a question, you will be entered into a raffle at the end of the stream to win a prize. Brett sent me packs of stickers, so every one of you will get a sticker. If you come on here and ask this question, you will win something. But I also was sent a Woodinville hat. It's nice and stylish. Woodinville hat.
That's fancy.
He sent me this shirt that I'm wearing, but has never been worn by anybody. So it's a brand new Woodinville whiskey shirt just for you.
Do we have to?
I've got multiple Glens. I've got Glens to send you guys from the Woodinville Whiskey Company with their logo etched on it. Also have a bottle of their straight bourbon and a bottle of their cask strength rye.
Oh.
And I will also be sending out 2 flights. So there will be 2 flights entered into the raffle as well. One will be a finished flight. You got the Woodinville port finish, Calvados finished, Marsala finished, Applewood, and Maplewood finished. So you'll get 5 sample bottles of finished whiskeys. And the other flight is a cask strength flight. So you've got the cask strength rye. You've got both of Mash and Journey's cask strengths that they did this last year. And you've got Bourbon Baller Lee's cask strength private barrel select. So that's a cask strength flight, finished whiskey flight, and all those other things they'll be given away at the end of the show if you jump on screen and ask a question. How do you feel about that, Troy?
So I have 2 of those cask strength ryes. Both of them just knocking out of the park for me. Those are fantastic whiskeys.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm excited about those. Also, speaking of Calvados finish, that's the one I'm sipping on tonight is the Calvados.
Nice.
Which leads me to my first question. I have 2 questions. They're very short.
Yes.
Tell me about where you source barrels. Like Calvados, you have the orange muscat or something. You have all these weird things that I never see anywhere. Where do you get the barrels?
So a lot of our experiments have just been small distillery only releases, and our tasting room is basically instant feedback from the consumer, what they like, what they don't like. And so that's why we do a lot of the experimentation. Our port finished bourbon was a small little experiment. We actually used local port wine barrels for that.
Yeah.
Well, the feedback was phenomenal. And so we were like, we got to find a better source for these and a consistent supply. So I reached out to the folks at Glenmorangie, talked to Dr. Bill Lumsden, and said, hey, I need your port barrel supplier because I need to start buying a lot more. So we actually get all of our port barrels and have for the last 3 years from their supplier out of Portugal. And then their supplier is always hitting us up with special barrels or unique barrels that they get in that we might be interested in. So they're always sending me samples of the wine or the liqueurs that they're aging in these barrels for me to try. And that's kind of how I start my experimentation process. Is I literally will take drops of the samples and mix them with different, like our bourbon or our rye, and see like would that play well in a finish. And that's kind of how it started. I also work with a couple different barrel brokers around the country, and they always have their feelers out for unique barrels. They know I like to experiment, so that's kind of where I get my wood from for experimentation.
Okay, cool. Second question. So I've hand delivered some samples of Woodinville stuff to people all across the country, and I've gotten some comments that there's a apple note to most of the Woodinville stuff. And is that a result of where the grains are grown, what's like absorbing in the atmosphere? Is it where the barrels are being aged over there in Quincy or wherever that is, or Vantage? Where the hell are you guys at?
Quincy, that's our aging facility. So that's actually I've never heard that before, but here's my take on that statement or that question. Yes, obviously, maybe subconsciously people think it comes from Washington. We're known for our apples, and maybe in the subconscious they're thinking apple. Yeah. I know I've done plenty of tastings, and I can tell somebody that they should be tasting that, even though I don't taste that, and they agree with me. So subconsciously people are easily influenced. Although all of our whiskey ages in Quincy. We are there is a large apple orchard right next to all the aging facilities right there. Okay. I don't know if that has any influence. There could be something to that. So I have never tested on a chemical level to see if there's anything to do with apples in the whiskey extract, but well,
when you're talking like 2 parts per billion of Granny Smith, I mean, you're not going to be able to get any lab sample on that. So
correct.
I get it. Correct. It totally makes sense. But I was just curious if you had heard that before.
No, I really hadn't. Obviously we do an apple wood finished bourbon.
Yep.
And you definitely get little notes of apple in that. I would concur on that. But as far as the flagship product, I've never really. Now I'm really curious now that you say that.
I've only given out samples
Cosmic
of the
Crisp. Cosmic Crisp. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. Cheers, Brett. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thanks, Troy.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Troy. Oh my goodness. Brent, are you ready to make a cocktail? What is up, Charred and Twisted?
Hey guys.
What's up? What's up?
Howdy.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, you're a little choppy.
All right. Getting set up now.
I had to get my chilled cube because, you don't chill your glass.
You're right out. All right, Stacy, you want to introduce yourself to Brett and tell him what you're doing over there?
Yeah, hi, Brett. I'm Stacy, and my husband Will here, and we own Charred and Twisted, which is a cocktail catering company. We specialize in craft cocktails as well as smoked meats. So,
2 of my favorite things.
I know, right? How could you go wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tonight, I wanted to make kind of a riff off of the paper plane.
Yep. So I see Campari instead of Aperol.
Yes.
That's your twist?
Yeah. A little bit. It's a little bit bitter. A little bit more bitter. So we have some ice, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, fresh squeezed, of course, and then half an ounce of grenadine. And
hey,
then
Stacy, can you say that again? You chopped out at the end of half an ounce.
Half an ounce of grenadine.
Okay.
And then tonight, I think I'm going to use your rye, your cask strength rye for this.
Excellent choice.
So we're going to do an ounce of the rye. An ounce of the Campari. Hopefully I'm not continuing to cut out. I'm going to do a quick shake. We'll double strain into our coupe glass. And there we have it. Cheers.
How's it taste?
Delicious.
It sounds very delicious.
I concur. It's the second one I've had today, so
Excellent.
it's all on a warm day. I also just wanted to comment. I don't have a question. We always watching this show. Everybody asks great questions, so we always learn a lot. And we've done the tour over there a couple different times, and everybody's always so helpful and informative. But one of the favorite things that we did on one of the tours with Mark over there is we got one of the engraved bottles. We had it engraved with Mayfield 2021, and you can't see the engraving probably over the camera, but it says to infinity and beyond, and it's our infinity bottle. And so
Nice.
yeah, we have several different Woodinville whiskeys in here, and it's for a special occasion.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
The custom etching has been a huge hit. We started doing that about 3 or 4 years ago, and we had to buy a second machine just because the demand for it's so high. And I'll tell you what, I'll never get a speeding ticket in the state again because the state patrol is one of our largest customers.
Oh, that's
wow.
awesome.
No joke.
Well, for anybody watching, be sure to go do the tour and get the etched bottle. It is a blast and just a wonderful tour. We've done the Bourbon Trail and a lot of different distilleries, and Woodinville always does such a fantastic job with the tour. So if you haven't done it, be sure to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, really appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much. Yeah, we try to show everybody exactly how we make the product. We really don't have any secrets to hide. I mean, we make it all from scratch. So what is there to hide, really? So we're pretty much an open book when you come in on the tours.
Yeah.
Love it.
Are you guys sure you don't have a question?
Well, I'll take it back to the vodka because, like Mark, I tasted the vodka years ago because you used to serve it in your flight when you'd come in and do a tasting flight.
Correct.
And so it was Peabody, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so, but you can't find it anymore. So do you guys still make that or have special releases of it ever?
No, we made the unfortunate decision to stop producing it. When I started looking at the actual numbers and how much still time it took to make the vodka, it was way more profitable to make whiskey. And, we are a whiskey company.
Yeah.
We made it for many, many years past where we should, just because people were so diehard about it. But we finally had to pull the plug on it.
Yeah.
I may get crazy one day and make another batch. Who knows? But if we have some extra days of production at the end of the year, I might bring some wheat in and make another batch. We'll see. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to put one of these guys out for it, but
It's amazing. Yes.
all right. Well, cheers. Nice
Cheers.
chatting with you.
All right. Hey,
Thank
cheers,
you.
guys. Thanks for coming on.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Nice. All right. So she made her own version of a paper plane. I need to try that because I haven't even had a regular paper plane, let alone
It's Paper Plane's a delicious cocktail, but I want to try it with with Campari now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I thought I had some syrup in here. Marvin's in the house.
What's up, Marvin?
Hi.
Nice
How's it
collection.
going? Long time no see.
Yeah. Sorry I missed you at the last release. I was daddy daycare all weekend. My wife left me for the weekend with her mother, so I was wrangling kids.
Same here. Mark actually did double duty for me at the last release.
Okay.
Kids definitely take priority.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So I've had a little bit of Woodinville every now and then. Just Just saying.
His Woodinville collection is ridiculous.
It's an aficionado.
Ridiculous.
Definitely other people closer to me than that.
I have 12 Woodinville bottles, and he makes me look like an amateur.
I have a couple. They get
You have every one they've ever released.
I get low, so I got to get more, and then they get low, and then you got to get more. And
Marvin, do you still have a bottle of the triple barrel that we made?
yes,
Can I buy it from you?
really?
I don't have any. I drank it all. It was so good. I should have made more.
God. Yeah, I still have a bottle.
That's awesome.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
All right. Sounds
I
good.
do have a couple of questions. So I know, I love Woodinville. Just in case nobody's figured that out yet, I'm just saying. And then I watched your last video where you did the your 3-year tasting of that 2020 barrel.
The follow the barrel at our the 10th anniversary party. Yeah.
I didn't get to make it to that, so I'm very jealous of everybody who wrote their name on it. So my question is, I've always heard rumblings that you might open a tasting room at your warehouse or at your aging room. Is that true, or is that like not true? And if it's true or not, can I come and visit one day?
Okay. So part one of your question. Yes, there have been rumors when we built that facility over there. At the same time, we had the architect design a tasting room to add on to the building at some point. The whole idea behind having a tasting room over there, it's in the middle of nowhere, but the closest thing is the gorge at George, right? So literally the gorge is 10 minutes from our aging facility. So the whole idea behind a tasting room would be try to capture some of that concert traffic in the summertime over there. So if we ever did it, it would probably be a seasonal tasting room. So late spring through summer, if we did it, we'd really like to do it because it'd be really awesome to do the tasting experience and do the barrel house tours and see the whole bottling line in operation over there. But your second question, we can find a way to get you over there and so you can check everything out.
Okay.
I love it, Marvin.
I go over quite often to do barrel samples and check on things. So maybe you'll have to jump in the truck with me one day and just go over for the day, and I'll get you nice and liquored up, and I can drive you home.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
You can sleep me there. You don't have to drive me home.
You'll sleep out in the cornfield. It'll be fine.
What? Yeah. Sure, sleep. That's what you call it. I'll guard you. Trust me.
Then, yeah, probably the majority.
Yeah.
Yep, it's Marvin.
That was my question. It's great
What's up,
seeing
Marvin?
you. I like your stuff. It's pretty good. You kind of know what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And last question. I know Mark jumps us all off.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, dude.
When is the next? I know you didn't do it with the last one. When's the next taste and barrel thing?
Oh, the taste choose bottle.
Yeah.
I don't have anything in the pipeline for that, but our next harvest release will be in September this year. So we're going to do it earlier than normal. I'm actually incredibly excited about what we're going to release in the fall. It's a finish, and to my knowledge, this has never been done in whiskey before. This finish.
Okay.
Ooh.
So it is. The finish is complete. I already have it bottled. So it is just waiting for September to be released. So
Blink twice if it's awesome. All right, thanks, Brett.
No, I'm pretty excited about it. So I think everybody's going to really love this product. It's just so unique. These finishing barrels I found, most people won't even know what they are. So it's cool. I'm excited to talk about it when we start doing the PR support for it, probably late summer.
Okay. One more question, Mark. Don't kick me off. So now that you guys are kind of wider distribution, where's the farthest? What outside of the U.S., where's the farthest your bottles have gone so far?
We're only distributed in the U.S., 26 states right now.
Hmm.
I have heard rumors that people are bootlegging bottles over to Europe and for their bars. I've heard that, but we're not actually selling out of the United States right now. We're technically not in Hawaii, but there's a bar in Maui that smuggles our bourbon in and has it on the shelf. So I do know that, but I'm looking forward to distributing in Hawaii. Then I'll have an extra excuse to go visit.
Oh yeah.
It's a business write-off if you have to go to Europe or Hawaii or
Yeah, absolutely.
Japan, or you got to do it for work. So
I'm actually going to Kentucky in 2 weeks to work with their distributor team in Kentucky and show them what real bourbon's all about.
Awesome.
You said you're going to be there in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, Mark, aren't you going?
I will be there in 2 weeks. I'll be on Fort Knox.
I go there the 5th through the 8th. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'll be pretty much restricted to being on Fort Knox.
Can you bring gold?
Say that again, over.
Gold. Can you bring gold?
No.
Bring gold.
No. I'm not dying on that hill. No. I've seen that place, and I'm not allowed to go there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's separate from the training area where I'm at.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give my spot up so somebody can ask some more amazing questions. Again, Brett, good night. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Marvin. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, Marvin. All right. So we've got 3 in the running so far for the big giveaway. One of the things getting given away is this cask strength rye that I'm going to try right now for the first time. And the rest of this bottle, there's going to be 1 sample given away in a flight in the raffle. And the rest of it is going to whoever wins it in the raffle at the end. So you said this is 100% rye?
Yeah, 100% rye whiskey. So our flagship rye is we bottle at 90 proof, and then we do a cask strength version, distillery only. So our cask strength rye is probably one of our favorite of our core products. Our bourbon, our rye, cask strength bourbon, cask strength rye, and port finish bourbon. The cask strength rye would be my favorite.
Okay. In the chat right now, there's a poll. I put a poll in there, and let me bring it up real quick. It is what is your favorite, like your go-to whiskey? And let me see where it's at. So the question was, what is your go-to whiskey? And I asked if it was a bourbon, a rye, cask strength, or a finished / single malt, because I didn't think finished or single malt would beat out any of the other 3 categories by itself. And so I had finished and single malt together. And let's see, we've got 43% saying bourbon so far, 17% rye, 29% cask strength, and 13% saying finished and single malt so far in that poll. So bourbon's leading, and cask strength is second place.
Not surprising.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. But leads me to my question, kind of what you were just talking about with not only the triple barrel, the triple cask, but what you were talking about, this 100% cask strength rye. What is your favorite product you've ever made?
Honestly, it's probably the triple barrel, because
really?
I love peated Scotch, but I love American whiskey more than Scotch, and it was like melding both worlds together. That one really shocked me. It was an experiment I wanted to try, and literally I was sitting around with droppers of Ardbeg Ugadale, dropping them into all my products to determine which product was going to work the best on a finish. And unfortunately, I don't know if I could replicate that one again. That was my favorite we've ever done. Probably I have a top 3 of all of our experimentation.
Okay,
Number
shoot.
2 is our Applewood finished bourbon, the toasted Applewood stave finished bourbon.
So not the smoked applewood, but
Not
the
the
applewood
smoked.
staves.
The actual
Okay.
toasted Applewood stave finished bourbon is probably my number 2 of all time. And believe it or not, though, our harvest release of last year, our port finished rye was, I thought, phenomenal.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just sold out of that a few weeks ago. We're done. I'm gonna bring that back because it turned out so great. I'm gonna do it again.
Good.
So
Yeah. When I met you in October for the pick your barrel thing,
yep.
you told me about it. You told me that it was coming up soon, and then the next time I went up there was for the smoke barrel release, and they didn't have any more.
Oh, so you never got to try the port finished rye?
No. Yeah.
Well,
That's okay, and that
more.
gives the opposite question. What is the worst product you've ever made? Like that you consider was the worst?
I got to really think about that. I'm pretty proud of all of our products we've made. I've done a lot of experimentation.
What if I brought it up like, what was your worst business decision?
God,
I know it's a hard question.
it's a tough one. I mean, in our early days, and there's still those out there that still judge us based on our early whiskeys, and we used to age in small barrels. And as we started, we were only aging them for a short amount of time in an 8-gallon barrel, but at the same time, we were filling 53-gallon barrels. And in our business plan we wrote in the beginning, that was our stepping stone. Is
okay.
We were called Woodinville Whiskey Company. We had to have some brown liquor to sell. We couldn't survive on clear whiskey and vodka for 4, 5, 6 years until our product was mature. Yeah. So we made a micro barreled. We called it our micro barreled collection. It was our bourbon and rye aged in small barrels. It's not easy to do the rapid aging in a small barrel and actually make a good product that's balanced, just because the extraction rate is so fast in a small barrel. You'll never get the oxidation that you get over time in a 53-gallon barrel.
Right.
So they were definitely wood forward in those because of the extraction notes. I thought they were very good in their own right. Not what our ultimate goal was. And the ultimate goal from day one was to kill that line once our 53-gallon whiskey came of age to start bottling. So there's a lot out there that had those products. It didn't suit their palate, and they still will not try our flagship products that we put out to this day. So
and having this channel and being part of the whiskey community, kind of a thing online, especially. I've heard some similar stories from people, especially people on the other side of the country, that the only thing that they've tried from Woodinville was a couple years old or whatever, to where they didn't like it.
Yep.
And I'm like, let me send you a flight of some newer stuff I have from them, and they always like it.
Yeah,
they always do.
Yeah, that was the challenge is, when you're making all your whiskey from scratch, you're not buying from MGP and putting it in a bottle. And, it would have been a different story if we were buying source whiskey in the beginning while we were making our whiskey and then transitioning over. But if you look at all the companies that are doing that and they claim they're distilling their own, most of them never fully transfer off of the MGP juice because
everybody's associating those flavors with their label now. So
it's pretty hard to replicate what that distillery is making in your own environment. So we never wanted to go down that path. We wanted to always have total control of how we produced our whiskeys. So,
All right. So to answer William Hall's question, for those of you that got here late, because we have over twice as many people now than we did when we started here in the chat. And so to let you guys know, we have a huge giveaway. There is a almost full bottle of the straight bourbon, almost full bottle of the straight cask strength rye. There's going to be a cask strength flight from Woodinville, a finished flight, a hat, a t-shirt, multiple Glencairns to give away, and everybody who jumps on to ask a question is going to get a whiskey or a bourbon sticker or both. Just let me know. So t-shirt, hat, Glencairns, all you have to do is jump in, ask a question. You get to ask a question, and you're going to get booted right off, but you get in the giveaway at the end. And Brian's in the house. What's up, Brian?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. How you doing?
My question is, I brew beer and I deal with esters from the yeast all the time. What esters are in bourbon? What esters affect bourbon?
So
chemical questions.
great question. So a lot of our esters don't happen. They happen in the barrel aging process. So what they're called is 5 carbon esters that happen probably start to develop in year 3 and 4 of the barrel aging process. And, you know, when you're drinking a whiskey and you taste fruit or banana or whatnot, you actually are tasting that. That's what a 5 carbon ester is giving off those fruity aromas. So in a raw distillate, you'll have some esters, but you get the esterification during the barrel aging process that really make those flavors pronounced.
Right on. Good, good. Did that all make sense to you? Answer your question, Brian?
Yes, it did.
Awesome. Hey, man, appreciate you coming on. Do you have any Woodinville to sip on over there?
No, I actually just finished mine not too long ago.
Which one?
The normal barrel. I had a barrel pick from the store the local liquor store that I went to. Now,
like a Cask Strength private select?
Yeah, and right now I'm just sipping on some what the hell is that? Oh, that's Heaven Hill bottled and bond.
Oh, good choice. Good choice. So hopefully I get to send you a flight or something.
Yep. Sounds good.
But yeah, shoot me an email at northwestbourbon@gmail.com with your contact info. That way, with whatever you win, I can send it to you, bro.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, man.
Thanks for the question.
Oh, wrong one. Ben the Demon Hunter.
Good evening, gentlemen.
What's
Good
up,
evening.
Ben?
This is a quick question. You mentioned that you're only in the U.S., so any plans of going into BC or Alberta or Canada?
Yes, there's discussions on some international expansion in the coming years. Canada has been one we've discussed. I would say we're probably 2 or 3 years off from that international.
Fair enough.
The goal is to get to all 50 states first and then start branching out into the international markets. And obviously we want to take care of our brothers and sisters from the north.
Okay. Yeah, just I even heard it on the radio this morning that it's easier for different provinces to trade with the states more than with each other. So
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
What province are you in?
Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Right in between Edmonton and Calgary. So
I've visited Alberta. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Red Deer. So
awesome.
All right.
Nice. Hey, Ben. Thanks for jumping on, Ben. Was that good? Are you done?
Yeah.
I was kind of distracted. I was putting you into the wheel for the raffle at the end, and I've chatted with you before, so I'll let you know if you want anything if you're not here at the end.
No worries. I don't really plan on going anywhere yet for a bit.
All right. Hey, sounds good. Appreciate you jumping on.
All right. Have a wonderful night. Talk to you
later, buddy.
Well, I think I need to pour some Cask Strength Rye of my own.
Okay, I'm still sipping on that one. That one's good. I want to make an old fashioned with this, but I'm thinking I want to make an old fashioned with one of the smoked ones because people do the smoked old fashions.
Yeah.
I've got a smoked applewood and a smoked maplewood here, and I'm like, dude, I should make an old fashioned with one of those.
That'd be
but
sick.
I'm gonna have to run to the kitchen to grab my my Woodinville maple syrup to do that because I don't have a sugar in my man cave here because I don't really make cocktails. So, Steven, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Not much. Good to see you. So I'm going to let you go ahead and fire off your question while I run and grab some maple syrup, all right?
Yeah, do your thing.
All right, I'll be right back.
So I'm a little late, so I may have missed this answer. I'm not sure if this was discussed. A couple things though I want to touch on.
Yep.
I was not actually a fan of the base flagship bourbon, but then I finally tried the cask strength bourbon, and I'm a bit more of a proofier guy. The cask strength bourbon is amazing, man. That's it's probably one of my favorite products from Washington. I'm a big, Washington whiskey fan, and I think that's up there with my top. And I have to say, even the base rye is amazing. Like, I get a ton of green apple on the nose. That's just an incredible product, man. I love the green apple or the base offering rye. And then I tried the cask strength rye, pick out of Texas recently, and it was amazing. It was amazing. The recent release, I actually liked the sweet peat the most. And what's interesting about that is I didn't get like any peat out of that. I almost feel like that one was almost like could have gone with a different name, and almost like it would have been, because a lot of people, I feel like even my buddies, like veered away from it because of the peat. You know what I mean? In the name. But that was an amazing bourbon. My question is though, so I've heard rumblings of an 8 or a 10 year coming out soon, and that being rather on the pricier end. I just wanted to, I don't know if you touched on this earlier, maybe you did. Again, sorry because I'm a little late, but I was just curious what that was looking like, if that was releasing this year or like what the thought was.
No, I have not discussed that. But yes, there are plans to release an 8-year-old product in the future. So the near future, I'll say. I'm not going to give an exact date.
Yeah.
In the near future, we will release an 8-year-old product.
Are we thinking like $150 or below, or is it going to be pricier than that? Or
that's probably safe to say $150 or below. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's going to be more than that.
Awesome, man. I'm excited for that because I love the cask strength bourbon, so I'm excited to see what an 8-year would bring. Is it going to be cask strength, or is it going to be proofed down a little bit?
I haven't decided yet. I got a decent amount of it. I might mess around and do some at cask strength, and then might mess around with cutting it down a little bit, seeing what proof talks to me the best, and go from there. So
awesome, man. That's amazing. Well, I look forward to it, man, and thanks for hopping on tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the questions.
Hey, appreciate you, Steven.
Later, brother.
Later, man. All right, so I got my Woodinville maple syrup. I don't like artificial sweeteners or the simple syrups or sugar, like sugar liquids, whatever they are. When I have an old fashioned, which is not very often, but when I do, it's either with local made honey or it's with barrel aged maple syrup. That's what I use as my sweetener. And so I was gonna make it with one of the smoke. I got the applewood and I've got the maplewood. Which one would you suggest with the old fashioned?
So if you want smoke, in my opinion, the maplewood smoke carried the most smoke across to the whiskey. So I would go with the maplewood.
Okay. I was thinking the same too. When I did the side by side, I made a video trying all three of them side by side. And I thought the applewood had the least amount of smoke of the three.
Agree. So do you want me to talk about that experiment a little bit? Because there was a question. The last question was kind of about the sweet peat and how it didn't have that much peat. So I can kind of go into that.
Special releases and things coming up in the future.
But how that all came about is our barrel manufacturer, Indpndt Stave Company out of Kentucky. They obviously supply the majority of the bourbon industry in Kentucky, but we've been buying barrels from them since our first year of operation. And we've always tried to look into innovation with them. And, our standard bourbon barrel is much different than what is standard in Kentucky.
Right.
But I've got a very good relationship with their research and development team. And they were talking to me about how they had bought a smoke machine and they were testing out smoking different woods infusing the barrels and then bunging them and then putting whiskey in it. And so I was very intrigued. And I said, well, I want some. And they said, well, we're still testing. We're not selling them to anybody. I said, well, yeah, I don't care, but I want some. So
Right. I want one.
So I said, well, what are you doing? What woods are you smoking? And they said they've messed around with apple and maple. And they said that they called it their sweet peat. And they said they've got peat, but the peat doesn't really come across in the barrel in the smoke. And so they say it's more of a sweeter peat flavor. I'm like, perfect. I want to try it too.
Yeah.
So that's why I was worried the name was going to turn people off because a lot of people don't like peat. But that probably was my favorite of the three, the sweet peat. It just had a really cool balance of flavors in that finish.
From people I've met, the people who like peat absolutely love it. To where they will buy anything that says that it has peat in it because they are just peat lovers.
Yeah.
And everybody else in the world doesn't like it at all. But it's definitely got its audience. All right, so I've got me an old fashioned with a maraschino cherry, your maplewood smoked 100 proof bourbon, some old fashioned bitters, and some Woodinville barrel aged syrup. And I'm going to sip on this for a little bit as I bring on William Hull in the house.
Hey, how's it going?
Howdy.
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Fantastic. So I'm going to pour a little bit more. And
I thought that was
Marvin?
really your house. It's only tripping.
Marvin, you're a son of a bitch. I hate that guy.
Which one
But
you got
anyway.
there? Will?
This is a straight 93.
Oh, the bourbon?
That's what I can get here in Indiana.
Okay.
So fantastic bourbon. I can see where you're going with the cask strength, and thank you very much for that. What are you using for the peated? What are you getting the smoke flavor?
Oh, for when we did the smoked peat barrels.
Yes.
So I don't know where I got it from our barrel manufacturer. I don't know where they actually got the peat. I don't know if it was peat from Scotland or it was a local peat from Kentucky. I don't know where they got it, but
Yeah, I had heard that question come up. Like, was it peat from Scotland or where was it?
I don't know. That's something I can find out. But I was just shocked they actually agreed to do this project for me, even though they weren't selling these barrels to anybody. So I wasn't going to ask a bunch of questions at the get go. So
well, good. I'm a Scotch guy, and that's where I came from. But this bourbon is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, it's amazing, and it hits every check mark. So I am so curious to see where you're going with that cask strength and the peat on that.
I really hope that in the coming years we have a cask strength version in every market. I mean, right now it's only available in our tasting room, but yeah, obviously more advanced whiskey drinkers want the cask strength. They want to be able to dilute it down to where they want versus us deciding our flagship's at 90 for bourbon, our flagship rye's at 90. So I know there's more advanced bourbon and rye drinkers out there that prefer the higher proof stuff. So in the coming years, it will probably be more readily available in all of our markets.
Well, from what you're doing right now, you're hitting every check mark and just nailing it. So I was so happy to get this bottle, and it was fantastic.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Will. All right, Will, I just put you on the wheel of names to have you in the raffle at the end, and appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, buddy. See you later. Sean's in the house.
What's up, big dog?
Toast Malone.
What's up, man?
Not a whole lot. How you boys doing tonight?
Good, good. You sipping on any Woodinville tonight?
Once they come out with that cast strength Armagnac finish, Brett, I'll be all over it. You know what I'm saying? But not until then, Big Daddy. And that's one of my questions. You know what I mean? So, along with the 10-year limited edition, which I want this man right here to get a sample bottle of, you know what I'm saying? Because he is the West Coast, Washington represent. I mean, come on. Lee and me have one question to ask you, Brett.
Yep.
Let's get that cast strength Armagnac finish out to the public, big dog.
You're an Armagnac fan, huh?
Well, I mean, me and Bourbon Baller Lee, I love Lee, and I mean, he's part of the reason why I have such a bougie palate as far as fucking bourbon is concerned. You know what I'm saying? But, brother, Brett, I'm trying to love local, man. Let me love local. Come on, Brett.
I'll let you love local, bro. Don't you worry.
Come on, Brett.
Did you try our Armagnac finish?
I did, but guess what? At cast strength, I know. And hey, you look at me. From Lee to me to you, I know it's a lot better at cast strength, okay?
All right,
That's all
brother.
I have to say.
So Sean, I hope that you win the cast strength flight. I really do. Because the cast strength ones that I got, I know you tried Lee's cast strength pull. I know you tried that one. But the other three that I have in that flight, you haven't tried.
Nope.
Yep. So I hope that that's the one you win. I really do.
Woodinville at cast strength is
Yes.
where it's supposed to be, Brett. That's all I got to say, Big Daddy.
Hey, let me tell you this. 90% of the bourbon drinkers out there don't handle cast strength. You guys are the elite, the 10%. So if I did everything at cast strength, I'd have a lot of whiskey sitting.
Way to blow my skirt up, Brett.
No, that's probably true. I did a sampling, a taste testing at a liquor store in Tacoma, and there was 2 different 100 proof bottled and bonds, and half of the customers were like, "Whoa, 100 proof! Well, I don't know if I can handle that." I'm serious. What you're saying is right, Brett. Like most people aren't used. They think 80 proof is like way up there, and so when I was trying to get people to try these 100 proof things, they were looking at me like I was, dancing with the devil. And I'm like, dude, this is nothing. But yeah. Anyways, hey, Sean, appreciate you jumping on, buddy.
And it's only because I know Lee and this fucking asshole right now that I love cast strength. That's all I got to say, Brett. Okay. If I didn't know these two, I'd love 80 proof. That's all I got to say.
All right, brother.
All right. Good night, Sean.
Cheers.
Oh, goodness. All right. So I've got the old fashioned here with the maplewood. And man, it tastes like a smoked old fashioned. It's good.
You liking it?
I like it.
I haven't tried making a cocktail with the smoke stuff. We sold out that same day, so I only have like 1 bottle.
You got one of each?
Yeah, I kept 1 of each.
Right.
So.
I mean that's what I would do too. If I was making it, if I had my own deal like you got, if I had a special release like that, I would have 1 of each. Absolutely. Where'd that question go? Bourbon Baller Lee, are there any plans to add a new addition to the core lineup? I like that question, Lee.
Originally we only did our bourbon and our 100% rye, and then now we have our port finish bourbon that is part of the core lineup. There probably will be more line extensions with all the experimentation I've done over the years. I know what works and what resonated with the consumer. So the problem we have right now is we only have X amount of liquid that's out of age to bottle, so 5+ years. Yeah. So any more experimentation or line extensions takes away from the flagship products. So it'll be a little bit longer until I have some more volume in the pipeline to start playing with and pulling away for some line extensions.
Do you still have the double barrel as a standard offering?
We don't. We discontinued that product and
Okay.
focus
'Cause when
solely on the bourbon and the rye.
When I got the Northwest Bourbon etched bottle, I got Northwest Bourbon on it. I put double barrel in there.
It was a really great whiskey.
I liked it, and that is not the double barrel that came in it because I bought other bottles of the double barrel that day, and so I refund. But that's the last of what I got.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't have any more backups of the double barrel,
I
unfortunately.
don't either. It's gone. Gone for good.
Sad day.
Unfortunately.
Boom. Oh, sorry. Marvin asked, you mentioned earlier that you like Scotch. Is there anything else you go to? Because, of course you drink your own Woodinville.
Yep.
And you like Scotch, but is there anything else, like when you go to an airport or a hotel or something like that, if they don't have a Scotch you like and they don't have Woodinville, what are you ordering?
Honestly, I'm a Wild Turkey guy. I like stuff from Wild Turkey. It's just
Can't go
super
wrong.
flavorful.
Can't
The
go
price
wrong.
point's right. The 101's great. I love Russell's Reserve stuff.
Yep.
Any of the Wild Turkey line is something I gravitate towards. So if Woodinville wasn't in the picture.
Yep. I always have 101 on the bar. I've just recently gained a new appreciation for the 101 rye. And the rare breed, of course, is great.
Rare breed's phenomenal. Yeah. They make really good products. I really like the Wild Turkey portfolio.
No, yeah, absolutely. Almost full until no, dude, I'm not gonna drink any more of these 2 bottles there in the giveaway. I got a sample for the flight that wins at the end, and I had a sample, and so this much is going to the winner. Practically full. Practically. Wes Haggard, what's up, man? Good to see you. Sean, what tenure? Yeah, Sean said tenure, but we all know you were talking about the age. It's all good. Tenure. David Bays is in the house. What's up, man? Howdy to everyone who just joined in. Scotch Down Under. That's Ken from down in Australia. Good dude. Good to see you, Ken. Ken, if you want to jump on and say hi, you are more than welcome, buddy. I appreciate you being here. Just remember that I have a good friend in Washington whose wife is from British Columbia, so maybe he might mule a Woodinville. Do you know Jerry Miller? I don't know, man. Jerry Miller is not the most uncommon name in the world. But if you win whiskey in the giveaway tonight, maybe that can be your ticket to how you get it. Because I was going to tell you, if you won one of these 2 bottles, that you were going to spin again, buddy, because I can't ship bottles like out of state. Yes. Oh, Bourbon School. What's up, Brian? Good to see you. 100 proof, 101, 95. Yep. All right, so do you have anything that you are wanting to promote right now?
I would really love to talk more about our harvest release, but I can't because I got to keep it secret for a little longer.
Okay. No, that's fair.
I'm just telling you, I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, I don't
Well,
think.
well, yeah, because if you're telling me it's something that is like finished or done in a way or a mash bill or something that is like nobody else has put out yet, then you can't disclose it before it releases because somebody else is going to steal that thunder.
Absolutely, and it's May, and I'm not releasing it till September. So yeah, I got to be mum about it. But I'm really excited about it. It's super freaking unique, and it's going to be a killer product. Just for the people out there, I bottled some at cask strength and then some at normal proof. So
That's a way to keep the regular consumers plus the enthusiasts both happy. If
Yep.
you release it at both points, you will be making us all happy, and I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I had my first Woodinville a few weeks back. It was a store pick from a place in Buffalo. It was great. Definitely getting more. Yeah, Bourbon School, Brian. Man, the private selects. If you want to talk about your private barrel program, because who you have in charge of your private barrel program really shows that they know what they're doing, in my opinion, because there's a lot of distilleries out there that they'll release single barrels and private barrels and, store picks and stuff like that. And a lot of them are hit or miss, right? But there's certain companies, there's certain distilleries that when it comes to one of their private selects or a store pick or something, it's going to be phenomenal because every single one of them is. And that says a lot about the person in charge of that program. And yours is one of them that stands out, along with Knob Creek and I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Another one to where whoever is in charge of their single barrel program knows what they're doing. But go ahead. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I pretty much do all the sampling and select the barrels for our private program.
Okay.
So I'll go through a batch and I pull barrels that are have some different nuances that are unique to what our flagship bourbon should taste like. And I'll set them aside and they go into the private select queue. So basically we have a single barrel private select manager who handles all the sales of those. And I pull monthly samples of our bourbon. We just started selling private select ryes this year. We hadn't in the past. Very limited amount of the rye. But yes, we do a tasting of 4 to 5 different barrels. And you guys, whoever picks, can select 1, 2, or 3, whatever they want. And we bottle it all for them at cask strength. And the label is customized to the account who buys that barrel, and they get the barrel as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
dude, I'd love to have like the actual barrel.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool deal. So yeah, when we package all the goods up, the barrel is on the pallet and it gets shipped off, and they get the whole 9 yards.
That is sweet. So I'm gonna have to talk to TroyMan and Wonderberg and Marvin and a couple other people that are here that are really local that I see on a regular basis, and see if we can go in on one of those private barrels together.
That'd be a group buy. We'll pick a cherry for you.
Oh, dude, that'd be a blast. Bad Axe Bobby Bourbon is in the house. What's up, Bobby? Good to see you. Everybody's saying hi to each other. I love it. Sean is always sauced on the lives. Yeah, well, it's after 5 o'clock, so he's drinking. So I'll take it. Absolutely, Ben. Love bourbon over 100. Absolutely, 100 proof is training wheels. Oh man, this is just a fun group of people, as I'm telling you. Whoa, I'm in KY right now. Am I going to find any of this down here? Yes, I'm sure. You know what? When I was in Kentucky last year, I went to a liquor barn, and they had 2 or 3 different Woodinville private selects there.
Yep.
Liquor barn is the spot to go. So, Brian, if you're in Kentucky right now, Google where the closest liquor barn is, and man, they've got store picks for days. And like I said, there was an end cap on an aisle that had 2 or 3 different Woodinville picks. You can't go wrong there.
We also have a product locator on our website, and you can punch in any zip code, and it's updated weekly on what accounts,
really,
bars, restaurants. Yeah, so wherever you're at, punch in your zip, and it'll tell you the closest spots.
Let's see. Bring Ken on. What's up, buddy?
I just saw a question pop up with the new expansion. How much bourbon do you produce a day? So to put it in perspective, when we started in 2010, we were making about a barrel of whiskey a day. So a 53-gallon barrel of whiskey a day. And then when we expanded in 2014, we were making about 8 barrels of whiskey a day. And then we've gone through a couple more rounds of expansion in 2020. And then last year, we're making about 50 barrels of whiskey a day. So that equates over a year's time to about 300,000 cases a year.
You're doing 50 barrels a day?
Now, yeah, we're running 24/7.
Right. I know. Yeah. You told me over the holiday season, you guys were ramping up to your 24-hour operations. But man.
So laying down a lot of whiskey right now.
Ben, he's got an old one that just says whiskey. Mine says bourbon, and the one we're giving away says bourbon. But yeah, close, buddy, close. Ken, thanks for being here, man. Oh, you're muted. Yeah, I'm not getting any sound from you. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead and speak when you're able to. A Woodinville cigar blend.
Not in the cards. Not in the cards in the coming future.
As a present. Oh, Possum Crew's in the house. What's up? What's up? I've got to get to Woodinville and check him out. Yeah, man. Oh, Bourbon is in the house. What's up, Whiskey Uncensored? Good to see you, Bourbon.
So, are most people on this live stream? Are you guys whiskey collectors, whiskey hunters, or just enthusiasts? What's the majority of the people on here?
The majority, I would say, from the ones that I know, because I've spoken to them multiple times. From those people, I'll tell you, they are whiskey enthusiasts and whiskey collectors.
Got it.
Both. Oh, I missed Tracy going to bed. All right. Hey, good night, Tracy. See you next time, buddy. And most of them are on the West Coast with us, but not all of them. Like Bourbon's in Canada. Ken here below us, he's in Australia. Bourbon that I just had Whiskey Uncensored here, he's in New York. But yeah, there's a few that are not on the West Coast with us, but most of them are. Because here on the Late Show, that's how we roll. Looks like Ken couldn't get his audio on. That's unfortunate. Ken's a great guy. But Indpndt Joe is in the house. What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm sitting here drinking a bunch of different kinds of Woodinville. Made myself an old fashioned with this smoked maplewood, and it's fantastic.
Nice.
And you know, I don't make a lot of mixed drinks, but dude, this old fashioned with the smoked maplewood is freaking great. What do you got going on over there?
I was talking with Whiskey Corner just got off with him, and
yeah,
we're talking about Blue Run. So yeah,
I know him. I've commented on a bunch of his videos and chatted with him back and forth a little bit.
Nice. Me and him will probably battle on my channel probably next month. After next week with Dusty Dan, I'm battling Dusty Dan next week, and then next month I'll be battling Carlos from Whiskey Corner.
Right, that'll be a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. we need a rematch. I got to give you a chance, man. I mean, you got to come back. You know, I feel bad. You know, like 1 point. Oh man, that probably kills you. You know, when you're sleeping and you're just like wake up in the middle of the night. 1 point. It's just
just PTSD all day. Oh goodness. All right. Yeah. So Joe, this is Brett. He's the co-founder of Woodinville Whiskey Company.
Oh, cheers, brother. Are we doing the question thing right now?
Yeah, we sure are.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was like, got caught up in the moment, and we were talking about different stuff. How you doing? So I already know your distribution because I should have been drinking Woodinville from the start. I think I just picked one up not too long ago. I have a couple of other whiskeys, but yeah. So as far as damn, I don't know what everybody else has asked because I was on it, somewhere else. What is the I guess the age range and because you guys are your own distiller, right? You guys are grain to glass, or are you
100%. Everything we make is grain to glass.
What is the oldest whiskey you have in your guys's? And are you guys coming out with some type of anniversary type bottle or anything like that? Something special that's coming out anytime soon?
So our flagship products, the spec on our bourbon and 100% rye is 5-year age on those. Yes, we have some stuff in the queue for some longer age releases, looking at an 8-year, kind of going from there. But
okay.
We've had a good problem in the past few years. We've kind of had to sell we were selling everything that was of age. So it's time to start holding some whiskey back for longer age stuff and some special things.
You guys have do you guys do, I guess, like with a lot of different stores for store picks and stuff like that? You guys work with a lot of places down here in California where like certain stores have, like, I won't say exclusive, but they're one of the areas like I'm in the San Diego, LA, Riverside area.
Yep. Yeah, and we've done several private select barrel picks down in the stores in California, Southern California for sure.
Oh,
so off the top of my head, I can't name them all, but
of course,
there's been a lot. But yeah, we do have a private select barrel program in all of our markets that we're in. We're in 26 markets right now.
And you said on your website you can find a store locator, and that includes who has store picks.
I don't know if it shows store. It should. I don't know. I know it will show the bourbon, the rye, or the port finish on the product locator.
Gotcha. All right, hey Joe, I appreciate you coming on. I know you were.
Yeah, I apologize, man. I did not read the room. I just came from I was just like I didn't even look in the video. I just came straight on. I saw Ken on here and it kind of confused me. I was like, oh, is this? I thought it was a stream where you were having somebody on, and then I was like, I saw Ken. I'm like, well, that's weird. So I was like, oh, it must be just a.
Hey, Joe, you're a good man. It's always good to see you. Appreciate
man.
I'll talk to you.
Sorry about that, Brett.
No,
cheers everybody in chat.
See you, Joe.
Oh man, he's a good dude. So Joe is a Marine, and he's down there in SoCal, like he said. Fun guy to talk whiskey with, and as you can see from his backdrop, he's a big collector and enthusiast. I bought a cask strength rye from Woodinville Tasting Room that is 117 proof. What an excellent bottle. Is that always available at the distillery?
We always try to have our cask strength rye and cask strength bourbon in stock at the distillery. So yeah, it is super rare that we would not have it at the distillery.
Nice. Are you ready to get into this giveaway? Let's see. Let's share the screen. All right, so we've got a handful of things to give away. We've got the rest of this bottle of the Cask Strength Rye, and we've got the the bourbon, the finished flight, the Cask Strength flight, the hat, the shirt. We've got 5 Glens that are that have the Woodinville Whiskey logo on it. And so I'm going to spin the wheel and have all these. So ahead of time, I put all the prizes on little pieces of paper that I'm going to put in a little graduated cylinder here. So I'm going to pull one out at random and see which is the first prize. The first prize is the bottle of bourbon. Which goes to Marvin. So Marvin, you'll get stickers. You know, you'll get the whiskey and you'll get the bourbon stickers, and you'll get the rest of this bottle of bourbon here. Unless you want to choose, of course, if you already have a few, then you can choose to trade it out for something else. But as of right now, that's what you're getting. But if you want to swap it, you just let me know. All right, next is a Glencairn. So the next person who wins is going to get a Glencairn. Sean, a.k.a. Toast Malone, you get an official from the co-founder of Whiskey Woodinville Whiskey. You get your own Glencairn. That is freaking awesome. All right. So next one is, what is that? Oh, this is the Cask Strength Flight. So I'm going to send you both of this year's Mash and Journey picks, along with Bourbon Baller Lee's pick, along with a sample of the Cask Strength Rye. You will be getting those from me. Steven. Awesome. Dude, Steven, I know you're pumped up for that, man. All right, I need to be writing these down. Hold on a second. Let me slow my roll here. 'Cause I'm gonna forget, man. So Steven got that. So Sean. So Sean got a Glen. Marvin got the bourbon. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Nope. Sorry. All right. So the Cask Strength Rye goes to Charred and Twisted. Awesome. All right, Charred and Twisted got the Cask Strength Rye. That's freaking sweet. I'm so glad you guys are going to have that, because I know that you're going to be making cocktails for people with it and sharing the Woodinville love. I couldn't have planned that if I tried. All right, next one is the finished flight going to Brian. All right, Brian said that he just finished his bottle of Woodinville and that he doesn't have any left. And so you're going to get a flight of 5 different finished Woodinville whiskeys, which is the port finished, the Calvados, the Marsala, the Applewood, and the Maplewood smoked. And so you're getting those 5 port finished. That's awesome. Sweet. So, Brian, make sure you shoot me an email and give me your contact info. And if you're in here in Washington, then we'll just meet up and high five, and I'll hand it to you. And if you're not in Washington, then we'll work it out, bro. We'll work it out. We will certainly work it out. This is for the T-shirt. TroyMan gets a T-shirt. And that means that William Hall gets the hat. Right? So if TroyMan gets the T-shirt, then the last one left is the hat. So I'll have to write those down. Troy. And, I forgot Indpndt Joe. So Indpndt Joe, the last one, I didn't add him to the wheel, so I will send him one of the Glencairns. Because I think I have a couple left, and so I'll shoot, maybe I'll throw TroyMan and Charred and Twisted and Indpndt Joe. I'll shoot all them the Glens. I think I have what? Because I had 5 total. I gave 1 to Sean. And so, yeah, I'll give the rest of the guys one of the Glens. That works out. Okay. Nice. I will take a hat for sure. Awesome, William. I don't have a Woodinville shirt. Awesome. Troy, sweet. I'm glad you don't already have one. Other than the harvest released, are there other annual special releases? Simone, Barkeep, Tully, why didn't you jump on and ask a question, bro? You could have been on this giveaway.
Harvest release is the only one that's set in stone every year, but I do a lot of experimentation every year. Some years not as much, just based on the barrels I can get and what I've done and what I haven't done. So yeah, some years there's more than the normal, but typically there's one every year is the harvest release. That is a special, unique whiskey. But I've ramped it up a little bit lately with the taste choose bottles we've done, and then the smoked barrel series. Occasionally, I release a barrel of the Applewood finished bourbon, and I have a bunch more in queue of that. We're going to do a national release on the Applewood finished bourbon in the fall. So all of our markets that we're in will get the Applewood finished bourbon, which I'm pretty excited about because it's only been available at the tasting room whenever we've released it in the past. So yeah, those in our 26 markets that we're in will get some Applewood probably around August, September is my guess.
Oh, I messed up. Ben, dude, I did not add Ben Demon Hunter to the thing. So Ben, I'm going to send you one of each of the stickers, and I'll send you one of the Glens. All right, buddy. I did not put you on the wheel, and I feel like a turd now. So, Ben, email me at northwestbourbon@gmail.com. Give me your mailing address, and I'll send you one of the Glens and one of each of the stickers. All right, man? How did I not put you on the wheel? All right, I'll make it up to you, buddy. Only teasing. No, not only teasing. I set the standard 4th, and you played along, and I didn't follow through. That was my bad. Totally quit being bashful. Yeah, you should have come on and said what's up. Cool to see Indpndt Joe get a Glen. He's very generous with his. Yes, he is. I'm definitely going to send Indpndt Joe one of the Glens. No worries. Oh, dude, I got you. Looking forward to trying more of your whiskey. Yep. And Sully, you don't live too you don't live too far from me, Tully. So whenever you want to have flight, just let me know of anything I got, man. Especially the local guys, is like Woodinville and all the other local Washington State whiskeys. I'll be glad to share some more info with you of them. Hey, Ken, what's up, man?
Yo, we got one in there?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Jesus.
Of course, after the giveaway, you figure it out.
Yep. I don't know what the hell that was. I never have any problem. Yeah, so it's your fault Brett's fault as well that it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I have to have some Woodinville port. So cheers.
How did you get that down under?
I've got a secret squirrel that managed to mule this to me. Yes,
Awesome.
Tunnel through the Atlantic.
I'm proud to see it down in Australia. That's very cool.
Well, when I first heard about this when you released it, I'm like, I want that. And yeah, I heard good things because I'm a big fan of port finishes and just having something from your state. And I love the presentation, the bottle, everything about it. So right, yeah, I'm pretty chuffed to have this.
I'm gonna pour a glass. I'm gonna pour the glass of that port finish.
Well, I'll join you as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, there you go.
So Ken, is that the furthest out you've ever seen Woodinville?
That I know of, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think we were in Australia, so that's pretty freaking awesome.
Right.
I know Chris and Lil over east have got some as well. I don't know what Woodinvilles they've got, but I know they do have some.
Oh, Chris and Lil have some too?
I mean, they've got everything. Of course I'm gonna have it.
So, but they're Eastern Australia, right?
Yeah, they're east. I'm west.
Yeah.
All
right, so we know of at least 2 households that have Woodinville in Australia, Brett.
That's pretty freaking cool. I love it.
Cheers,
ching.
guys.
Cheers.
Ting. That's awesome. All right, so Ken, I'm gonna have
you're talking about where you're actually getting the port barrels from. You're actually getting them from Glenmorangie, and they do really good port barrels. So yeah, that's pretty cool that you're getting them from there.
So what's funny is, I asked Dr. Bill at Glenmorangie for his port supplier, and we started doing the port finish bourbon. And then an article came out in a whiskey magazine, was rating the top port finish bourbons in the world. We were number 3. Glenmorangie Quinta Bourbon was number 8. Dr. Bill was not too happy.
Not impressed.
Wow.
That's funny.
So I hold that over.
Quinta Bourbon used to be one of my favorites. It used to be one of my favorites until there's plenty of, I do still like it, but it was like top of my list of port finishes. But then I've had subsequent ones, and this is definitely way up there. I really did like this one.
Thank you. Thank you. We're pretty proud of it.
It's just got the perfect balance, got that nice little bit of char on the finish, and it's just tasty.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the what is it? Angel's Envy, and there's one other port finish I had that I did the 3 of them side by side, and I liked Woodinville the best. Like no joke. Like I thought Woodinville had a better balance to it, and just that like thick, creamy mouthfeel to it was way better than what the other port finishes had, because either they were too port forward or just their balance was way off.
And that's what we were going for when we did this port finish. Is we wanted the proper balance. We didn't want the whiskey way out of whack. We didn't want it too port forward or not enough port. We wanted just enough so you taste the fruit from the port, but you still taste the bourbon as well.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. No, 100%. I've had plenty of scotches and other whiskeys that are, the port's just so subtle it might as well not even be there, or it's just overpowering. You can't get the distillate. This has got a really good balance. Still getting some of that char from the oak coming through, and being just 90 proof. It's it's still got a really good viscosity and mouthfeel. It's Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff. I like
Thank
it.
you. Appreciate it.
So I do have a question in relation to
Fire away.
Yeah, Vegas.
Was completely
I put out a video putting the Woodinville syrup on French toast. That Woodinville syrup is freaking amazing. So I don't.
Oh, you do a syrup?
They barrel age maple syrup, and what Woodinville needs to do is, after the syrup comes out, is to put whiskey back in it to get a maple finish.
Yeah.
I know people keep asking for that. It's one of my back of the pocket experiments to try. So stay tuned.
It's great. Bainbridge does it. I had Keith on the show a few months back, and his maple finish is fantastic. And I would love it if you guys did a maple finish.
So, pro tip, I like black coffee, but I started putting a little splash of our maple syrup in the black coffee in the mornings.
Oh my goodness, you'll never go back.
No, it's no. Now I'm hooked. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's good.
Oh, I called it.
Nice.
All right, what you got, Ken?
So in relation to guys like Balcones that have done their scrub smoke, are you guys going to be doing anything that is uniquely yours that you're going to smoke your whiskey? So other than doing like getting Islay, Scotch, or peats from Scotland, which is fine, but I really like the terroir kind of smoked peat finishes that come from that place where the distiller is actually made instead of importing something else in. Is there any plans to make something uniquely Woodinville smoke peat kind of finish?
No plans for any kind of Woodinville peat. Woodinville's in Washington State. Washington State is known for their apples. We're probably the largest exporter of apples in the world.
Yes.
And we do an applewood. We do applewood stave. We toast the applewood staves and finish the bourbon with the applewood staves. So that's kind of one of our.
Yep, I heard of that one. So would you consider actually getting the applewood and smoke the barley with the applewood?
That'd be interesting to try for sure. Yeah, I'd never thought about that actually,
because that would be a completely unique Washington Woodinville terroir that you can say, okay, you're known for apples. Here's our smoked barley done in applewood from Washington.
That might be pretty cool to try. Is like a applewood smoked barley in our bourbon. That would be actually pretty killer to try. No,
there's a mission for you, Brett, and please send me a bottle.
Deal.
I absolutely agree. Great idea, Ken.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. That I love like new ideas. And I feel like I've done so many different finishes. I'm running out of ideas on finishes, but that right there is kind of outside the box.
Yeah.
And so a new way of looking at things. So no, definitely. The wheels are turning right now. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Nice. Because I heard you talking about you like peat before. You were putting Ardbeg, Ugadale, Corey or Ugadale. You said, yeah, I love
Ugadale. Yeah.
But, yeah, you get a lot of distilleries that'll, because peat is so well loved, and whether you like it or not, it's so well loved with a lot of peat lovers. But the problem I find is you get a lot of distilleries that'll just grab barrels that have been done in peat, or they'll grab peat from Scotland, or they'll actually grab the barley from Scotland or Islay, and then they'll just finish their whiskey. And it's like,
sure,
yeah, that's fine, but I really like the idea of having the terroir of Washington, for example, or Balcones with their scrub smoke, or here in Australia with our lime burners, there's actually a peat down in. But if you can't get peat, there's other things that you can use to kind of flavor the barley. And like you've got applewood there, why not use that? And that makes it unique. Yeah. It's not something just flavoring it from another place. That's a unique flavor that you can distinctly your terroir, like you have in wines with the certain grapes.
Sure,
which I find is really cool.
I really appreciate that tip, and stay tuned because I love to experiment. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. Yeah, as long as I get to taste it, that's you could go with it.
Yeah, well, talk to your mule that gets you bottles down under. So
yeah, yep, I will definitely do that.
Okay.
Here's the barrel aged maple syrup.
Yes, the
Woodinville.
syrup is good stuff.
Man, really good stuff. This is like my 5th bottle right here. I every time we make malt waffles here at the house, this is what we're pouring on our pancakes. Really, really good. And I wasn't drinking it before, and I forgot about this whole thing. I apologize again, but yeah, man, just like Ken said, man, it's so good. The flavor, it has some of that smokiness to it. It's just really good stuff. The one I'm drinking right now is a private barrel. I do have the 90 proofer too, though. So, but yeah, these are freaking awesome.
Yep, and I love the bottles too.
Oh yeah.
Did you go through a lot of different bottle shapes and designs before you stuck with this one? Because I just love the bottle, the cork.
So actually that bottle was 2 years in the making. So when we started out, we had a different bottle shape. That was for the whiskey the micro barrel whiskey, our small barrel whiskey going into. It was like a squatty round bottle, but we knew we had time to prepare because the long-term goal was 53-gallon mature whiskey. So we knew we had time to figure out a bottle. And I spent so many hours and days in liquor stores and bars looking at bottles on the back bar and on the shelves and what really was unique, and started sketching the bottle out on paper and worked with our label designer on developing this current package. So it's a unique package. It also presents challenges on our bottling line just because of the big lip on top.
It's very big
tamper seals, and it presents a lot of challenges. But when we were developing the bottle, I wanted a bottle when you picked it up, it was very substantial, and you knew you were going to drink some freaking whiskey at the time. That was
and if someone tries to steal your whiskey, you can hit them with it and knock them out cold.
It should be a concealed weapon.
It's definitely a brick
exactly.
right here. This is a brick right here.
Yep.
All right,
and
so
for people like Marvin that has too many bottles, when he stores them all, they sit nicely together, and
and he can build a house.
They play nice. They make the wall. I hide behind them, and then I drink a little at a time.
Exactly.
All right,
and
so
I appreciate
I'm gonna take us
feel.
backstage. Hey, Joe, Ken, Marvin, don't go anywhere, okay? All right, so Brett, I'm gonna cut off the live stream and take us backstage before they start getting too wily. But I just wanted to let you know that I greatly appreciate you coming on. For all of you guys that are watching after the live, that are catching the replay, if you haven't already found out, there's a in the next day or two, I'm gonna put a conversation navigation links in the description of the video, so you can jump around to different parts of the conversation that happened here tonight without you having to watch the whole thing like all the way through. You can just jump around through the links that I'm going to put in the chat. But also, congrats to all the winners. TroyMan, Marvin, Charred and Twisted, Ben, Joe, all you guys that won tonight. If I do not already have your contact info, you got to shoot me an email at northwestbourbon@gmail.com and make sure I have your email. So all you guys watching us live, if you want to come into the backstage after party for a few minutes, go ahead and click join. And Brett, I'm going to give you the floor for a minute to sign off. Anything you want to say to those that are watching along?
Perfect. Well, I just want to thank all of you guys that tuned in and watched me ramble about whiskey, but I really appreciate it because I could talk whiskey all night long. And I want to invite all of you down to the distillery to check it out, take the tour, see how we make the whiskey in Woodinville, and meet our staff. It's like a family at Woodinville. All of our staff is really engaged in the entire process and really on board with what we do there, and they kind of bleed Woodinville. So you'll really sense it when you come down and meet them and see how we do it. And it really is a labor of love. And I just want to keep innovating and making cool whiskeys outside of our flagship products and different finishes, and keep everybody engaged. So once again, thank you everybody, and really appreciate it, and love to meet you guys all face to face one day when you come down to visit. So thanks.
Hell yeah, thanks, Brett. Hey, so any of you guys still watching, like TroyMan, Ernie, Ben? I see you're back there. If any of you guys want to jump in the backstage to join us offline, go ahead. But yeah, once again, congrats to all the winners, and appreciate you guys all being here with us. Let's see. There was one more thing I was gonna put out. Yeah, TroyMan, if you want to join the backstage, go ahead and do it.
I'll just say one more thing.
No, go ahead.
Stay tuned for. We'll post on our social media channels, but the harvest release this year is going to be one to not miss. I'll just say that it's going to be pretty cool and pretty special.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. And that reminded me of what I was searching for that I was going to say. Already in the video description, I've already added it. The Instagram link for Woodinville Whiskey Company is in the description, as long as the link to their website. And so if you are not following them on Instagram, or if you need the link to their website, it's already in the chat, as well as the link to your YouTube channel, which has some really fun videos on it. So check out their videos that they have on their YouTube channel as well. And you can find those links in the description. But without further ado, I appreciate you guys all being here. Look forward to next week as we have the Skunk Brothers on from Stevenson, Washington. And take care of you and yours. Remember to drink water and be a good influence on those within your sphere of influence. All right, guys? Earn, protect, enjoy. Cheers.